Okay, we're getting ready. Okay. Good morning, everybody. This is Rick with Hometown Heroes. Today we've got some special guests, and they are all affiliated with the Airpower Foundation, which will have the Sky Ball in November. So I'll just let them go around the horn here. And Wanda, tell us who you are, a little bit about what you do, just briefly, and then we'll kind of get into the nuts and bolts of everything.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Wanda Cox. I'm the chairman of the Airpower Foundation and the chairman of Skyball. So putting our event together is one of our primary event that we raise money. So that's a very much a busy time right now, getting ready for our November event. But it's my honor to be the chairman of both of those.
And you have two your right hand people.
I do.
Just today. So
absolutely couldn't do it without our volunteers and the people that we work so closely together with. It is definitely a family effort.
That's right. Kelly?
For sure. Hey, everybody. I'm Kelly Castonguay. I'm the executive administrator with the Airpower Foundation. And I took this role on 2.5 years ago when Wanda moved up to the board. And now she's our chairman. So it's very exciting. So previously, I was a volunteer for Airpower Foundation and with Skyball for 15 years. And here's my little sidekick, Woody. But so we are so excited to have Skyball 21 this year. And we hope you will join us on Thursday, November 16th at Globe Life Field. Here's on to Cameron.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cameron McNutt. I am the Airpower Foundation's content and social media manager. So any marketing initiatives are usually from me. So, and for full disclosure, Wanda Cox is my mom. So that's how I got involved. Look at Mary's popping on. Hi, Mary.
Mary just
computer's
came on.
Being a little slow today.
Hi, Mary.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just keep going. So again, my name is Cameron McNutt. I got involved with the Airpower Foundation. I attended my first Skyball in 2011, and then I volunteered in different capacities throughout the years, but I became a lead volunteer for the Decorations Committee in 2018. And then involvement with the Airpower Foundation has only continued to grow since that first year where I took on a lead volunteer capacity. I head up a lot of projects, and it's just an honor to be able to give back to those that are willing to do everything for our freedoms. So it is always so fun to be challenged. It keeps my skills sharp as a volunteer. There isn't anything that I haven't been able to do that I've tried. So, I'm really grateful to be a part of this organization, and we hope to see everybody at Skyball because we are working so hard to make it the best Skyball ever.
And Mary, she is like one of the end users of the proceeds that Skyball raises, because she has been in the reserves at NASJRB Fort Worth. So she's seen firsthand as a first sergeant how Skyball, the Airpower Foundation, the Airpower Council, works so hard to support our troops and their families. So Mary, we certainly want your input today to tell some of the things that you've witnessed whenever you were active duty, or was it reserve duty?
Yeah, well, it's kind of both sometimes, right? Yeah, it just depended. But, what the foundation does for the folks on base, when I can remember the first time I even heard about the Skyball and I got tickets to go, and just the excitement around folks being able to do that, but then funds that they generate, how it helps the different people on base and the organizations on base is really, there aren't ways to raise money when you're in the reserve. There, you don't have a lot of 501, you don't have a lot of ways to generate some income to help put on banquets and to show appreciation and to do base picnics and all that sort of thing. So it definitely helps the folks out there on base more than many probably even realize.
And all of us know that it's not only just raising funds is a challenge, but sometimes getting the funds where they need to go can be a challenge with little hurdles through rules, regulations, and the way that the commanders or the JAG interprets the rules. So,
Well, and we've been very
Exactly.
lucky. We have a wonderful relationship with all the leadership on the base. And just to give your viewers, our mission at the Airpower Foundation, it's been the same since we were incorporated in 1999. We raise funds to give to great programs, including those on the base through morale and welfare programs, to give back directly to those programs that directly affect the families. That is our main goal. That is our main mission, to support our military families. We enjoy our relationship with the base and have grown that to where when there was a need during COVID to form a food pantry on base, they reached out to Airpower Foundation as that 501c3 because they cannot directly take funds from our community. Well, they have to run through a 501c3. So having that relationship with the base and the commanders out there was crucial during COVID, when that need really just showed up very prevalently on the base. And it is still a very active food pantry on the base. We have supported that and will continue to support that. And it's an unfortunate need, but we're there for all the needs of the base, which includes the food insecurity and, through the morale and welfare, through different events on the base as well. So we have worked on those relationships, and every few years when the leadership changes and the JAGs change, we get to meet a whole new group of people and get to introduce them to Skyball, get to introduce them to our great community, because we work collaboratively with a lot of different organizations that support our military in the community. So, but it is interesting because every branch of service has a little bit of a different kind of rules. So we have to kind of really stay in tune with the commanders out there.
and we're getting a command change, I think, on the day of Skyball, aren't we?
We are. Oh,
Yeah.
if
This
anything
day.
else could happen that day, right?
It's just about the time when we get them running good and broke in good, and
Right.
all of a sudden it's time for a change. But I
I
know
think
that
they do it on purpose.
But Captain McLean says he's going to be great. So
Yes, I hope
we gotta
so, yes.
trust Captain
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Captain McLean has
Captain
been a tremendous
Amazing.
leader for the NASJRB
Yes.
for many years now. We've been lucky to work with him and his leadership, and I'm sure that this next change of command, our next leader at NASJRB, will hopefully be as dedicated to the morale and welfare of our troops as Captain McLean has. So we're looking forward to what that looks like.
so Skyball is coming up, and it's going to be November
16.
the 16th. And tell us about some of the things that go on with Skyball.
Sure. We are at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. We have a wonderful event planned. Very traditional this year as the first half of the show. Chef Robert Irvine, I don't know if your listeners and viewers know who he is, but he's a wonderful celebrity chef that has Restaurant Impossible, and he is very much philanthropy as well. He does a lot with his foundation, and that's who we really work with them for that. We'll be giving away a mobility device. I'm not going to give away the story because it's such a wonderful story, but it's a first for everybody in the room, for Chef Robert Irvine's team, for our team, for the recipient this year. But it is all about military families to us, and you will absolutely see how that transitions at Skyball, but it's such a heartfelt story. And so we work with him on his foundation side, but also he's been our celebrity chef, bringing us a fantastic meal for over 10 years. Standard Meat of Fort Worth donates the best steak anyone will ever have that night. It covers the whole plate. Sometimes we're hoping to do a little bit something different this year so we can add some stuff to the plate. We also have a different kind of show this year. As me being the new chairman this year for the first time, I'm mixing it up a little bit. We're going to do something a little bit different. And Terry Fader, who is our America's Got Talent ventriloquist and fellow patriot and wonderful supporter of our military, will be putting on a Las Vegas style show after dinner, and we'll be doing our fundraising with him that night. So it will be fun because he knows we just don't have one voice of Skyball. We have 90 voices of Skyball. Which voices he brings, but it will be fantastic. I'm hoping for Sting or someone like that because he has such a great voice for so many different characters.
I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Me too. It's been a few years since he's been at Skyball, but when earlier this year, the program fell into place so easily because people were like, we want to be a part of it. We have quite a few giveaways. Caliber Collision is donating 2 cars to, and we've gone through the nominations process for our enlisted service members to be able to receive them, and gone through all the JAG process and everything to be able to make sure that transitions nicely and gets, again, to those families that need those cars on the base. And so we'll be having many more giveaways, scholarship opportunities. We've had just so many great people come out and want to give back. We actually have some active shooter vests that will be given away to our law enforcement. So that's a wonderful opportunity to help out there in our community. So many different things happen at Skyball, but the biggest thing is 1,200 of our dearest friends will be there with us that night, and we will be celebrating and honoring our military, what they mean. We will be bringing in the most young recruits that we've had. We'll have 60 young men and women there to raise their hand and take that oath of enlistment with us that night. It's such an important part of Skyball every year. To the civilians there just don't understand until they come what that means to our community and to our military, because recruitment is down across branches of service. So we want to make sure that people understand what a honor it is to have these young people there with us that night that are willing to serve our country and volunteer for that. Cameron and Kelly, have any additional information that y'all want to share? There's lots of stuff that goes on that night. It's amazing.
Yeah, because it's a real honor for these young people, and they won't realize it until years later what a great honor it is to have a Medal of Honor recipient give them the oath of enlistment.
Yes.
Because there's so many of us that, we were at the AFI station in Dallas getting our oath by somebody.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah, when they receive the coin from a Medal of Honor recipient, it's like, top that, right? That is the coin to get. So,
but Skyball is just a lot more than just the gala that night. It starts even before that with Medal of Honor recipients, POWs from Vietnam come in, and then they go, you take them to the schools to let these children hear some stories and see some of our nation's greatest heroes.
yes, one of our biggest pillars, the one that we just love to embrace, of course, is the education piece of what we do. With our relationship with the Medal of Honor Foundation and the Medal of Honor Society, and now with the Medal of Honor Museum that's coming to Arlington, all of them are so intricately involved in education that we all work very closely together to make sure when we have the opportunity, and that opportunity is around Skyball, to go out to those schools, whether it's elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools, to go out and visit, to bring Medal of Honor recipients, former POWs, our recipients of the iBot mobility devices, other key figures out there that can really reach our young people out there and show them what a patriotic community we really are, and how they can help and embrace and volunteer and get involved, and what those pillars are in their everyday life that they can do, not, to implement goodness, that these Medal of Honor recipients and all these other men and women that have served showcase in their lives.
And just to add on to that, many of the schools that these Medal of Honor recipients, prisoners of war, our very own World War II veteran Don Graves, these schools, some of them are in high poverty areas. And so the message of resiliency and how to break cycles and be bigger than your circumstances is also a huge message that these patriots instill in the next generation of Americans that they might not get at home. So it isn't necessarily like going to kindergartners or first graders and talking about how great it is to be in the world's greatest military. It's about how to be a good person, and how to take a challenging situation and make it a cornerstone of who you are, and not make it the obstacle that blocks you from being who you can be. So that has just been such a big note that we get back from these schools, is that's the message that gets through to a lot of these kids.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about being a Medal of Honor recipient, they're kind of larger than life. I mean, they're very special people, but every one of them was just a regular person that was put in a situation and did extraordinary things to save the other people's lives. And it wasn't like they joined the military to be a Medal of Honor recipient. Mm-hmm. And these are there's just a little over 60 of them. And there's many more of them that, died doing the heroic efforts they did, which earned them the Medal of Honor. So these are just regular people that went to extraordinary lengths to be in combat and to save lives or do something special. So.
And all of them will say that they're just ordinary people that were just in a circumstance that they felt compelled to do what they needed to do. And they were recognized for that, as they should. I mean, honestly, I feel everybody out there, is put into circumstances when they're at war and peacetime, and, they rise to the occasion. And I think that's what Cameron was talking about, is the way they relate to the young people out there is rising to that occasion, whatever that is in their life. And then, being better.
And we had a great honor. Wanda and Kelly and Mary and I went to the Medal of Honor Museum and had lunch. And then we had a tour of the construction area where they're building a museum. And it was very impressive. I can't wait to see the finished product.
It's
going to be amazing.
Yes. After that tour yesterday, I am so excited to see the final construction done. I mean, just the stories behind it, the pillars, what they all mean was just.
Yeah, there was a lot of thought put into it, for sure.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
We had several World War II veterans that were with us yesterday, and they did well. I mean, Don, he kind of led the pack, but, he's a Marine, and when they told him to take the beach at Iwo Jima, it wasn't, I'm just going to crawl up there. He's trying to move as fast as he could to get out of the way, and he still does that at 98. So
yeah. I had to tell him to slow down. He was trying to run over the tour guide. Like, slow down, God, you can't get ahead of him.
I don't think Don Graves knows how to slow down.
No, he doesn't.
I don't think that's in his nature.
And the Airpower Foundation has been very involved with the Medal of Honor Museum, haven't they, since it's coming to town? I mean, it was
quite a very fun time. We it was just over a lunch one day when Sid Epps, the former chairman that was prior to my service, and Doc Ballard, who's Medal of Honor recipient, is on our board. We were all just having lunch, and they were just talking about the museum, and it was going to Colorado at that time. And Doc was saying, just talking about that. And Sid's like, did y'all even give Arlington a chance? And Doc's like, well, no. And he's like, well, we need to. And they got on the phone with then Mayor Jeff Williams, and Arlington popped up, and they did a presentation that next week up in New York, and they won. I mean, they were the dark horse, man, that came up and knocked the socks off of everybody and the committee that chooses the city. And they have definitely shown 100% and more of how much they love our military with what they're creating there in their entertainment district.
And that's such a great way to honor our veterans and our Medal of Honor recipients, to have this museum in Arlington. And that's just another way that the Airpower Foundation works with the community to help keep history alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we like to be that connectivity. If there's nothing else we can do, we can be those connectors of people, of programs, of Congress people. Just if people have a need and there's nothing we can do in one circumstance, we definitely know the people to reach out to make stuff happen.
And I know that you're real good at making stuff happen, because the first time that I was really with you for any extended period of time, we were taking a tour down to Fort Hood, and we took a bus down there, the Airpower Council did, and you were kind of the tour guide. I mean, you had everything arranged, and I mean, it was just seamless. It to me, it seemed pretty seamless that all this stuff just happened, but you were behind the scenes on your computer the whole time making it happen.
That's very on brand for my mom.
I was going to say, her nickname is Wanda Woman. Makes it happen, gets it done.
Well, I've had the honor of working with the Fort Worth Airpower Council for many years, as well as their executive assistant, in tandem with my position with Airpower Foundation as their executive assistant. So I got to really know, from the beginning, I've been doing this for 15 years. So I really just got to know both organizations, their missions, their abilities through their missions so well. And, the Fort Worth Airpower Council was formed by General Curtis LeMay and civic leader Frank Kent back in 1958. So their mission is, as a 501c4, is totally an advocacy, volunteerism message and mission. So when anything happens at the base or in our veteran community around the base, they can advocate at the Hill. They can call their Congress people. They can get out there and make those meetings and have opinions and get out there with our state legislatures and stuff. And so that is a key role, especially when the word BRAC comes to town. And, when they were very helpful with a lot of those things when that happens. So in 1999, when they formed the foundation, that created our new mission of just raising those funds to help the families through fundraising and through events like smaller events we have throughout the year. We've just had one with the council. They created an event with Joe T. Garcia's and had some musicians there, and they raised about $75,000 there that night. So that was a huge addition, and those funds are raised to be able to go directly to the needs at the base here in Fort Worth. So you can see all the people there. There was a couple hundred people there, maybe 150, but a very nice night, hot night, I'm sure. I think everybody was sweating.
Very, very hot.
But again, very unique experience. They were able to visit and mingle with these musicians, hear their storytelling, and really enjoy an evening of camaraderie there and raise some nice funds. So our relationship with the council is a sister style relationship, but we work very closely with them in the community. But there's many more beneficiaries of the Airpower Foundation as well, with the Holidays and Heroes programs that we raise money and we're able to give money to them to support our enlisted families at the base. We're collaborating with them for a turkey drive this year. We're also are funding families who, I think, how many families did they have, Cameron and Kelly? 175?
Last year was 191.
191 families. That's a lot of families that they do have to apply through the Holidays and Heroes program to be able to be adopted by our community out there. That give the families give a list, and the community goes out every year and just really spoils these families who work so hard for our military and their service. And then their families are able to enjoy a nice Thanksgiving and then, of course, Christmas holiday with their family. So it's such a heartwarming program that's out there, and they work so closely with the base here. It's just amazing work that they do, and we're proud to support them.
And on the Thanksgiving meals that we give about 100 pounds per family. And last year we did 500 families. And this year, I think we're on track to do about as many more, about 500. So, and Mary was out there, and I got to see firsthand the first sergeant coming out her, because she was just spouting orders out and just having people just scurrying around, and there wasn't anybody that they weren't just slacking off that day, because they had Mary there to keep them going.
So I'm proud to also serve as an ambassador for our Holidays and Heroes, and I'm also their content and social media manager, so I'm definitely not bored in my work at home capacity. But yes, so this year, the Airpower Foundation, along with the Fort Worth Airpower Council and Holidays and Heroes, have committed to that 50,000 pounds worth of food to distribute at the NASJRB through Fleet and Family Services. So we've been working with Lane Jackson at the base. Captain McLean is planning on being there again, as far as I know, as well, and the Tarrant Area Food Bank. So, and with the whole government shutdown being extended to right at the middle of November, this event could not be more timely. There is so much food; it's hard to put it into perspective, but it's a whole turkey, like a 30-pound turkey, and then all of the sides you can think of. So it should feed like a family of 4 up to a week. It's a lot of food. So it alleviates that pressure, especially around the holidays time. And then 2 weeks later, there's the annual military family Christmas party. And this year we've had about 150 families apply. So it's just such a wonderful day. It's, just like showering love on our service members. And it's just a really exciting thing to be a part of. And they're a great beneficiary. Carrie Randall Ortegal, she is such a good friend to the foundation, and she always supports the Airpower Foundation in whatever way she can. We're excited to see her and Bob at Skyball this year. And then we were at Roll Call a couple months ago as well. So we love to shower our veterans as well.
Yeah, and Mary and I are both on the board of directors. Mary's the president of Roll Call, and the foundation and the council and Holidays and Heroes are such great supporters of Roll Call and our veterans. And we just appreciate you all so much, and the love and support you give us, because Kelly's there. You're there every month.
I don't know what's
Dawn.
so long.
But Mary, maybe you can kind of touch on, the need at the base, especially with all the reservists. Whenever we talk about giving them Christmas or giving them Thanksgiving, it's not, to the officers and the senior enlisted people. These are the lower enlisted people. And just kind of tell us about the need that a lot of these young families have. So.
Yeah, it really is the junior enlisted members who are receiving this aid. And And as a first sergeant, so my last 6 years I was a first sergeant. You get to hear a lot of things about people's personal life as a first sergeant. There would be young people that would be sleeping in their cars and their supervisors had no idea. Because, a reserve and a guard member, unless they are a full-time, what we call in the reserves, an air reserve technician, or on the guard side, a technician, then they have a dual role and they're getting paid other times than when they're on their military duty status. So if you are a traditional reservist or a traditional guardsman, that means that you get guaranteed 39 days of pay a year. 39. So imagine if you happen to be one of the young people that I had in my unit who was an E4, young airman, couple of years in the military, 21 years old, trying to go to school, but at the same time trying to work what minimum wage job he could and taking care of his mother and father and sister.
Oh my goodness.
And so, the young man's having trouble passing the fit test. I didn't know any of this stuff. I found this out because I had to have a conversation with him about why he was having so much trouble passing his fitness assessment. Well, it boiled down to he didn't have time to prepare. He didn't have time to work out because he's trying the best that he could to take care of his family. He's 21 years old. So we always want to think, how can our military members be in such need? Well, the reality is that the reservists and the guardsmen are not in that same situation. And you have a lot of them out there. You have a lot of them that are young mothers. I had one young lady in my unit, one of the units I was in, and she came to me and said, I would really like to know if I can participate in Holidays and Heroes. I'm not married and I don't have children, but again, young E4, reservist, 39 days a year. She said, but my sister and her children live with me. And she was working a minimum wage job. And she's trying to take care of her sister and her sister's children. And I reached out, of course, to Holidays and Heroes. And they said, of course, put her in. And they kept asking, what does she want? And I kept asking her. And she said, I don't want anything. I don't want anything. I just want my sister and her children to be taken care of. She never would give me a list. So I just kept listening to the supervisors and listening to chatter to try to come up with something to give them that they could do for her. And after the event, she just raved about how amazing it was and how she felt like her family was so loved. But there's all of these people, and when I tell a supervisor, your airman sleeping in his car on the UTA weekends because he can't afford to drive back and forth, and he lives within the area that he doesn't get lodging. And you have to be aware that these things are happening. It's not easy for a young E1 through E5 if they're only getting paid 39 days a year. So the food drive at Thanksgiving is amazing. And what they really need help with and all the time is the folks to sign up to go to the food bank to help pack those boxes. We have plenty of help on base. Everybody wants to do the fun part. Everyone wants to load the trucks and see the smiles, right? But a lot of people don't want to go to the food bank and help load the boxes with that 100 pounds of food. So any way that people can help out would be really great. Go to the Tarrant Area Food Bank site, sign up to help out.
That's November 7th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we have these young airmen, young Marines, and they're having a struggle living, and then all of a sudden they get deployed. I know the 136th Airlift Wing, they have a lot of people down on the border. And so not only do you have problems financially and your family's here, you're someplace else, and you may be getting paid, but it may not be enough to cover. So the foundation, you do a lot of help too during deployment, furnishing funds to give things to those people that are being deployed, and then to help have functions for the families that are here whenever their loved ones are deployed. So there's just a lot of things that.
Yeah, those guardsmen that are on the border a lot of people think that they've got it really made, that life is great for them. But, the reality is that, and we had Misty Cato on the show one day, and I know Misty, the reality is that those folks, if they are, if they are not getting paid, and a lot of them don't all this time that they've been on that border from their civilian jobs, if they are a government employee, they're not getting paid. That time is not counting to their retirement. The Guard has it state, it makes it even a bigger issue sometimes for the Guardsmen.
So there's a lot of needs out there. And thanks to the
Right.
Airpower Foundation and the money they raise through Skyball helps some of those needs. But it's to put together, you walk in the Skyball, it's this fantastic evening, but it does take a little preparation and a lot of work, thousands of hours, thousands of phone calls, thousands of texts, and meeting after meeting after meeting. And right now you're kind of getting into the crunch time because
45 days.
45 days away.
But it's counting. So we have a wonderful volunteer team led by our lead volunteer for longer than I've been there, 15, 16 years, Patty Herdlicka. She is such a blessing to our organization and actually others. I know she works with many of our local nonprofits, helping them with her special skill, her special people skills.
And she's got a real job too.
Oh yeah, she works for the American Airlines Credit Union, traveling all the time. So she does so much, but wrangling takes about 400 volunteers to put on Skyball now since we're at Globe Life. And she wrangles everybody, puts everybody in the great positions that they need to be in. And just really has that personality that can handle all the different personalities that do come along with wonderful volunteers that we have. But we are all volunteer organization. So that's who loves our military, puts on a 5-star event, for our guests. And it's when people are pouring your wine or water or tea or, welcoming you into the event, everyone is a volunteer and they're just so happy to be there and be a part of that night. And there are definitely volunteer opportunities for people out there that are interested in, giving back. We have sponsorships, of course, seats are 500, tables of 10 or 5,000. We have corporate sponsorship levels, that you can participate in a bigger way. But volunteering is always needed, and it's a nice way to give back as well as in-kind donations. Like I was telling you earlier, the meat's donated, so we don't have that cost. We have, we have the bourbon, the wine, the champagne, all of that is covered by in-kind donations. So all of the in-kind stuff offsets any expenses that come along with the events, and it just makes it a grand event. And this year we're going to have a special gift. We're working with the Daughters of America's Revolution to give back to our women active duty reservists, Guard, and veterans that are there in the room with us that night. So we're excited to do a special treat for those women out there that are serving or have served. So everybody gets a little love and a lot of love actually in the room, and hopefully gets to meet, because I say that the Skyball is one of the best networking opportunities you'll have, just visiting with people. You're going to meet the person you need to meet, and you will get, if you're open to it, you will receive the message you need to receive. And our message, our overall tagline this year is to join the mission. And to me, to you, to everybody on this call and whoever is listening, that might mean something different to you. We have 60 young people that are going to be joining the mission and serving and raising their hand to volunteer to serve our country. We have hundreds of people there that have served our country or are still serving. We have our volunteers, they're joining the mission to volunteer. We have our sponsors that we're asking to join the mission by donating, to be able to help these beneficiaries that we help each year. So it's a night that like 15 years ago, 16 years ago now, I went for my first sky ball in 2008, and could not believe I got to see a man who had been paralyzed from an accident and a helicopter accident, couldn't walk. I got to see him walk upstairs in an iBot mobility device. I got to see him look eye to eye with his wife in this device, and his children were like, I've never seen him stand tall, and it was so impactful to me. I started volunteering, and 15 short years later, I'm the chairman. You do that.
My experience, I went to take pictures one night because one of my friends was going to get a vacation from the credit union.
Mm-hmm.
And so another friend said, hey, can you take some pictures? And I went to the barbecue the night before Skyball, and I looked around and saw all this stuff. I said, I don't know anything about this organization. I don't know anything about Skyball, but I want to be a part of it. And then all of a sudden I am,
Yeah.
Things just worked out like that. But, there's another group that is not military, but that's the royalty from the local rodeos. And they're starting to have a big part in doing interviews with the Medal of Honor recipients, with the POWs, and Donna Snow and Rex King support the organizations that these girls come from. So tell us a little bit, Cameron, about what they've done and what they're going to do this year.
Sure. So these rodeo royalty ladies, they have just found their way into my heart, and I just can't let them go. So we are so proud and thankful to Donna Snow King and Rex for their support of the Airpower Foundation. Rex has been Skyball year after year. I'm sorry, my dog, a guard dog. So Rex has come to Skyball year after year. He's a great supporter of the Airpower Foundation. He married the wonderful Donna Snow King, and she is the leader of the North Texas Rodeo Foundation, North Texas High School Rodeo Association. That's here in North Texas. These ladies, they're just incredible. They run rodeo circuits. They do pageant work. And Dawn reached out to me, and she's like, how can we marry this? Because rodeos are such supporters of our nation's military, love America. These young ladies are just chomping at the bit to give back. And they wanted to become involved with the Airpower Foundation. And so thankfully, we have a very supportive board with my kind of out of left field ideas. And we created the Rodeo Royalty Interview Project. And Rick Irving is our videographer. So thank you, Rick, for committing to come back again this year. Catherine Raker, she's a Fort Worth Airpower Council member and foundation supporter. She is helping these young women with their interview skills. Jennifer Nickerson, also a great friend of the Airpower Foundation, sits down with these ladies as well. And these young women get to sit down one-on-one with our distinguished guests that come to Skyball. So they get to interview Medal of Honor recipients and former prisoners of war. Last year, they interviewed military spouses, the spouses of our distinguished veterans, because military spouse stories are just as important. Gold Star mother Debbie Lee and her story, and being able to share Mark Lee's story. Through these young women and these young high school, college age women, they are the future, right, generation of women leaders in our country. And, just kind of, implementing this heart for service and giving back to our military. They were just blown away. I mean, they came to Skyball our first year at Globe Life Field as our guests. And one of the young rodeo royalty ladies enlisted in the Navy right out of high school. She was so moved by everything that happened at Skyball. And then last year, one of the rodeo royalty ladies, she was able to use these, the interviews for her college scholarship opportunities and college applications. And just the impact that this program had went farther than I could have ever imagined. And we've got something exciting up our sleeve, which will be announced at Skyball this year. to incorporate these.
Darn,
young-
no,
yeah, so I'm giving a teaser. So you have to come to Skyball and find out. That we're going to be incorporating these young ladies in a more forward-facing role for the Airpower Foundation throughout the year. So thank you to Donna, to Rex, to everyone involved with the North Texas Rodeo Foundation and North Texas High School Rodeo Association for your support. These young women also, they were Airpower Foundation ambassadors at the Holidays and Heroes event. So those military children got to take pictures with the pretty cowgirls, and that was a highlight of the event for them. So we are looking forward to our continued partnership with these rodeo royalty ladies, and providing opportunities for these young women leaders to be able to shine, and build important skills that they can take forward into their futures.
And what I love too, the secondhand, third-hand effects is these young people are all civilians, and mostly don't have any military background. And so them learning about our military, again, that education piece, they absorb it, learn it, and take it back out there to all their high school friends or early college friends, to everyone at the rodeos are going out to meet that are so patriotic. And so they are continuing our message out there as civilians. And I love that about this education role that they've taken on. And thank you, Cameron, for bringing that. It's going to be very exciting, our announcement coming up.
So there's still a lot of work to do in the next 45 days.
Yes, there is.
Remind me.
We got a lot to do. It's going to be here fast and furious, of course. Raising the funds is our biggest goal here, but creating this event is also a very fun experience, right? So working with the producers, making sure we've got a great organization called GJS Media out of California. They have underwritten all of our production this year. The screen, it's a huge in-kind donation they're giving us with their experience. So it's a 6-figure plus donation, and they're working directly with the Rangers and Reb to make sure it's everything at the stadium is top notch. And so we're really looking forward to having their new and creative ideas there. They are 100% off the charts, create beautiful stuff. So I'm excited to have them on board, and it'll just make our event even that much more special for our guests there that night. So yeah, putting a lot of finishing touches together.
Is the first Cav horse detachment going to be here?
Not this year. We are going to be using the Joint Reserve Base, their joint color guard. I do love our horse in the first Cav division, but I try to mix it up a little bit and rotate things through. We'll be getting hopefully some nice assets for people to look around and about and talk with the service people that are a part of those assets at the Skyball. We're working on all sorts of different things too throughout the year. One of the things that I hope it will be happening in the April time period will be we're calling it a community expo. We'll have all of the young people from around many different schools, Fort Worth ISD, Irving ISD, Dallas, Grand Prairie, all the schools, along with all of the recruiters from each branch of service. But then we'll also have many different, at least 50 different employers from the community to bring out veterans for job fair. So we're looking at doing that in the community as well in April. So lots of great additions coming up for our 2024 year as we roll into our next Skyball, because we always are planning. This one's almost over. We're planning next year already. So
you got to do that year round, don't you? I mean, it's not just, hey, let's get together a week before. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, for sure. Takes a lot of planning we have about 40 lead volunteers that just work year round, basically. And then they work with the other volunteers that come in the night of or that week of, basically, and really just pull it all together for the event.
Because there's so much stuff that goes on just besides the Skyball event. That's what just amazes me, all the getting everybody here, because you bring Medal of Honor recipients and former prisoners of war. in, as well as a lot of other people.
Yes, yeah, we do. We have a whole transportation team. Greyhound bus lines for years and years have been our bus line that our host hotel this year is the Sheraton. That is right, very close to our event. It's the Sheraton Arlington, right on Convention Center Boulevard. And so the buses won't have very far to go, but at least, we'll have the bus
They'll
service.
still be there.
That's right. They'll still be there. We'll have the bus service for anyone that's staying at the hotel or just wants to park at the hotel and go over on the bus. So you don't have to worry about parking. They can come and take the Greyhound bus service over and ride over with some of those great heroes that'll be there, like you were talking about, some of our distinguished guests who are staying with us at the Sheraton. We do have a special rate at the Sheraton for those that want to stay, because we have an after party after Skyball. We'll go back to the Sheraton and continue dancing and continue eating and having a great time with our Medal of Honor recipients and POWs and all of our other guests that are there. And then that next morning, we'll have a going away breakfast for anybody who would like to join us that are staying at the hotel. And so we just don't, have one party. It seems we have to continue the party and continue enjoying each other's company for as long as we can.
Well, it's going to be exciting. We're excited to be part of it. So
yes, thank
we
you.
look forward to it. And Kelly, you do a lot of other things besides just do things for the foundation, because you took Mr. Graves on a little trip to Ireland too, didn't you?
Yes, for his 98th birthday, he went on a podcast with our great friend Jeremy Locke, who is one of our Skyball photographers. And it was brought up, his family's from Ireland, and he's always wanted to go, but has never gotten the chance to. So Jeremy's producer said, we're going to make this happen. And they did a GoFundMe and raised over $21,000, I believe, to get Don over to Ireland to celebrate his 98th birthday. So
And he was with us yesterday at the National Medal of Honor Museum. So.
And they did it up right. I watched that whole trip unfold, and Don did not miss out on a single experience. Jeremy and his team and the ambassadors for Ireland and all that stuff, they took really, really good care of him.
it was incredible. It was such an incredible trip. Kinsale, Ireland loves Americans. They have a 9/11 tribute remembrance garden for all the first responders lost on 9/11. And I mean, they just loved Don and all of us and just did so well. And we jokingly said Don made his way across Ireland by napping in the car or singing his way. He sang, on the airplane both ways. He sang for everybody through the different first class, coach.
He's a fun guy to be with, and we're just blessed to have him and the other World War II veterans. But Wanda, we're getting close to being finished with our time here, and just tell us a little bit of how we can get involved. And I've got the website going across the bottom of the screen, and just tell us kind of a thumbnail sketch of how they can get tickets, buy a table, support, or whatever.
Yes. Going to our website is the first part of your journey. Then there, it is a great place for you to go. You can see pictures from last year. See the dress code is country chic, so that's really fun. See the pageantry that happens that night. See who the beneficiaries are. Everything about Airpower, our 990s, everything you need to know about us. We're very transparent. It was all on our website. There's a place where you can go to reach us if you want a sponsorship of a corporate sponsor. Kelly will answer the phone for you. And if you want to donate for a service person to come, we have those opportunities to sponsor those young people who are taking that oath of enlistment. You can sponsor a seat for them. All of our seats are sponsored because it is a fundraiser. So we're still looking for sponsorships to cover those seats. And those are $500 a seat if you wanted to sponsor someone that night, if you cannot attend. So that is an option. If you want to volunteer, there's a volunteer tab, and you can go scroll down and you can see what volunteer opportunities are on our website for Skyball this year. So anything you really want to know about who we are as Airpower Foundation and what we do year round, and then about our event called Skyball, we would love for you to take a look at us.
Well, we're excited about it. And we just appreciate the three of you and all that you do to help our military, their families, our veterans, and to keep history alive the way you do, going to the schools and with the interviews and things like that. So,
Thank you, Rick and Mary, for having us.
well, you're
thank you for your
welcome.
time this
Well,
morning.
You're welcome.
I'm especially happy to see that you're doing something to honor the women veterans, because I'll tell you what, it's like people don't even know we exist. They're like, oh, they see a guy and they go, oh, you're a vet, but then they look at us and they go, you. But, women, a lot of women serve, not a huge number, but we, it's bigger than when I went in on November 16th, 1978. It was my very first day of basic. So just apropos that this year it's November 16th. But yes, I went to basic training November 16th, 1978 was my first day down at Lackland.
You'll get a
So,
special
yeah, it was. We were like a teeny tiny bit of the military back then. We're a little bit bigger now as women, but women, a lot of women serve. So never discount the fact that you may be talking to a woman veteran.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Well, we're excited to give them.
Speaking of which, we're going to have at our October luncheon, we're going to do a pinning for a woman that is currently serving and getting promoted. So we're going to do her pinning at our October luncheon.
Oh, that's very
So
exciting.
it's going to be
That's
nice.
special.
Got a general coming to do it.
What is the day for the roll call luncheon this month?
What is the date?
But
Yes.
yeah, the
October
date.
27th is the luncheon, and the RSVP link will open tomorrow. Now, those that are on our email chain, you're going to get an email with a link that you can just click, and then you can put yourself and anybody else that you're bringing with you. You add them right in there. It's going to make it a little bit we're trying to transition the RSVP process to make it a little more streamlined and to give us some so that we can actually track those folks that come every month, those folks that don't come every month, all that kind of stuff. So, but that RSVP will start opening up tomorrow, and it'll fill very fast. So people need to get out there and do it.
That's right. Well, ladies, thank you very much. We're going to let you all go from the show, and we will see you soon.
All right.
Kelly, thank you for all you do. Cameron, thank you for all you do. And Wanda, thank you for all you do. And be sure to visit the website today and find out more about the Airpower Foundation and the Skyball. And we will see you ladies later. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks,
You're
everybody.
welcome. Kelly, bye-bye. Okay, that was good. It was great being with them yesterday, touring the museum.
Yeah. We got a couple of days with them so far. So
That was
I need
very.
my screen to stop playing around.
Yeah, we've got the.
Yeah, it was a neat. It was so neat to see the museum and all of the things. And of course, you can't ever have a thing where you've got. They have on the columns, for those that haven't seen a drawing of it, they have the service emblems on there. And of course, as we always do, when we're together with people of different branches, we all have to argue over which one's best. So that was in play yesterday too.
And they don't have
a little feud.
They don't have a pillar for the Space Force, but they're going to have that light that shines up for the Space Force. So.
Yeah, like the towers in New York, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be pretty cool when it's all done.
It's going to be very cool, and we'll talk more about that maybe after our show next week, and kind of tell how veterans can get involved with the museum. We were the first group for veteran supporters to be able to go, had lunch there, and then a tour of the museum, because whenever you pass by, it doesn't look that big, but you get in it and it's going to be a huge building.
Right. Right. And to
And
think that they were smart enough to put it in the area where people are going to other things, so that it's not you have to go way out somewhere to get to it, right there in the entertainment district. So
yeah,
there's not a reason not to go.
absolutely.
Right.
And Chris
Yep.
Cassidy, he's the head of that Navy SEAL,
Right.
astronaut, all around good guy. So
Yeah.
roll call. We have our clay shoot coming up in just another week or so on the 15th.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday, and that's a good time to come out if you just want to see what a clay shoot's about, and if you just want to hang out with us. You come about noon or so, and there'll be things for people to do that just want to come out there and hang out with us and observe. And then we'll have lunch about
We'll
3
have some
o'clock.
vets out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Come out. There will be some vets out there, some World War II, Korea, Vietnam. Come on out. And if you want to hear some stories while the folks are shooting, or if you still want to shoot, there's still some opportunity to sign up to shoot. We may even have a few donated spots that we need to get filled. So if you're interested in that, reach out to us at info@roll-call.org and we'll get you hooked up. But we're about 10 days out now, Rick, I think.
Getting close.
From the clay shoot. Yeah, we're going to have
Yeah.
some neat stuff. The prizes are really cool. If you haven't seen those, go to our Facebook page and take a look at those. You want to win just to get one of those prizes. They're pretty cool.
And then we have some other events coming up on Freedom Mobility. We've got a golf tournament coming up in November. I think it's November 12th. Then also Light Up to Live. They're going to have their clay shoot and golf tournament coming up just in a few weeks. So plenty of opportunities if you want to get out and support our military and our veterans and our first responders. So.
Absolutely.
Well, I've enjoyed the show today with you, Mary, and we are always honored and privileged to have our fans and our people that like to follow us and watch our podcast. We just love y'all and hope that you've enjoyed it. And we will see you next week on Hometown Heroes.
Till then.